Okay, let's be honest. How many times you promised yourself that you're gonna get back in shape in the new year? Or maybe you wanted to read more books, only to fall off track after a few weeks. It's frustrating, isn't it? It's not just you, we've all been there. But what if I told you that the problem is in you, but it's the approach that you're taking? And what if I could show you a simple, proven way to make you stick to your habits longer term?
Stick with me, because in this video, we're going to be diving into 5 life-changing lessons from the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. By the end of the video, you will know exactly how to build habits that last, or how to break the bad ones that are holding you back, and introduce tiny changes to your life that lead to massive results. Are you ready? Then let's go. One of the core ideas from the book is to focus on your identity rather than your goals. There are 3 layers to behavior change. The first layer is about changing your outcomes. This layer is all about the end results, like losing weight or publishing a book. And most of the goals that you're going to be setting will fall under this bucket. Then we have the second layer, which is about changing your processes. This layer is about changing your systems or habits. It could be maybe building a new routine at the gym or developing a meditation practice. Most of the habits that you set will fall under this bucket. The third and deepest layer is changing your identity. This layer is about changing your beliefs, the way you see the world, the way you see yourself, your self-image, your judgments about yourself or the others. Most of the beliefs, assumptions, biases that we hold fall under this category. To summarize, outcomes are about what you get. Then we have processes, which is about how you get there. Then lastly, we have the identity, which is about who you believe to be. When it comes to building habits that last, the problem is not that one layer is better or worse than the other one. Indeed, all layers are very important in their own way. The problem is the direction of change. Many people begin the process by focusing on what they want to achieve first, and this leads us to outcome-based habits. Instead, the alternative is the identity-based habits. With this approach, we start by focusing on who we wish to become. Why? Because behavior follows identity. When you shift your mindset to align with who you want to become, you will naturally take actions that match your identity. So in the end, what happens is that your behaviors follows your identity, meaning that you do things as a result of who you are. And then the results that you get become the natural consequences of the actions that you take. So instead of saying, I want to lose weight, say, I'm the type of person who prioritizes health. By doing so, what you're actually doing is that you're starting with having a clarity into the inner circle, which is the identity, who you want to become, which is being a healthy person. Once you know that, that's who you want to become, you start asking yourself, what would a healthy person do? Would a healthy person walk or take a cab? Would a healthy person take the stairs or the elevator? Would a healthy person drink more water during the day? Go to the gym more often? Like all these questions. And when you ask these questions to yourself, it actually helps you build systems in place and habits in place. And once you have clarity about systems and habits, which was the second layer, it gives you clarity into how you get there. The power of 1% rule. Big changes don't happen overnight. It's often the accumulation of multiple factors that play a key role consistently. James Clear emphasizes the importance of by just improving 1% every day. Over time, the small improvements compound into massive results. Let's see what it would look like on a graph. Your starting point is 1, which is where you are today. And if you can get better just 1% every day, you will end up with results that are 37 times better after only 1 year. James Clear says habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. What starts as a small win accumulates into something way bigger than that. I'll be honest, this is a difficult concept to appreciate in your daily life because we often don't seem to care about these small changes because they don't seem to matter much in the moment. Instead, it's in the long term that we start seeing the changes. In the book, James calls this the plateau of latent potential. We expect to see the results quite quickly and we think the progress would be linear. In reality, the key aspect of any compounding interest is that the outcomes are delayed. Same logic applies when you invest your money. Its value gets compounded over time. This leads to an initial value of disappointment where we don't feel like we're making progress, so we just give up because we're not getting the results we expected. But as you see from the graph, it does take time to see the results of the compounded self-improvement. So you might want to identify one tiny change that you can make today. This could be as simple as saying reading 10 pages of a book, or it could be just going out and walking 15 minutes. And if you can stick to this and do this consistently, you will see that the results will be massive. Lesson number 3 is my absolute favorite because not only it helps you to build good habits, but it also helps you to stick to them. This is where we usually see people going off track and quitting their habits. The 4 laws of behavior change are a simple set of rules that we can use to build better habits. They are make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. Now, let's see in a more practical way, what is it that you can do for each of these aspects. Let's start with making it obvious. You might want to put visual cues in where you will see them. Because we did not practice, your brain will start picking up on the cues that will predict the outcomes without really thinking about it. So let's give an example. Do you want to drink more water during the day? You might want to put water bottles on your desk, in the living room, in common places at your home, or even on your office desk. Make it attractive. Link your habit to something that you enjoy. Let's say you want to exercise more. You might want to listen to your favorite podcast while you exercise. Or let's say you want to read more, and let's say one of your hobbies is actually meeting your friends on a Sunday, having a boozy brunch over a couple of mimosas. So what you might want to do is actually to create a book club with a couple of your friends and agree that you guys are going to be meeting once a month and having that brunch. And at that brunch, while you drink, you're also going to be discussing the book that you read. Make it easy. Start with something so simple that you can't say no. The way that you might want to go about it is that you might want to break down your habit into smaller action steps. One of the techniques that James mentions in the book is the 2 minutes rule. Especially when you start a new habit, it should take you less than 2 minutes to do. Make your habits easy and simple to start, not a challenge. Lastly, make it satisfying. It's all about positive reinforcement.
We're more likely to repeat a behavior when the experience is immediately satisfying. So you might want to reward yourself right after you complete a task. The cardinal rule that James mentions in the book is what's immediately rewarded is repeated, what's immediately punished is avoided. To develop better habits, James actually says that we should try to attach some sort of immediate gratification so that we can make the habit immediately satisfying. Lesson number 4, habit stacking. Habit stacking is a powerful technique to piggyback new habits onto the existing ones. So the formula here will be, after I do the existing habit, I will the new habit. For example, after you brush your teeth in the morning, you could meditate for a minute. Or after you pour your morning coffee, you could write down 3 things that you're grateful for. This one specifically is a very simple and yet powerful technique because you're not technically starting from scratch. Your starting point is an already established habit that you have in place that you do without thinking. Say it's brushing your teeth in the morning or drinking your morning coffee. These are the things that you're already doing in autopilot that you do without thinking. Right? And usually taking the first step and starting is the hardest thing that people usually find starting their habit. So the only thing that you might want to do here is to piggyback onto this existing habit that you have in place that you do without thinking. So if you want to start a new habit, but you're not pretty sure when in the day you want to do that, you can start with thinking of your current daily routines, the things that you already do in autopilot, like brushing your teeth, drinking your coffee, your commute to work, and so on. Personally, the way that I incorporated reading more into my daily routine was to do it after I brush my teeth and before I go to bed. Sometimes this is as little as reading 1 or 2 pages if I'm really tired, or sometimes it's reading 10, 20, or 30 pages. But what I know is that now it's become a habit, and I know that, and I do that after I brush my teeth and before I go to bed. And the way that I do that, I always leave my book right next to my bed as well, so that it reminds me, gives me the cue that I actually do want to read the book. Step number 5, design your environment. Think about the environment in relation to the number of steps it takes to perform a task. To make good habits, you might want to reduce the number of steps to do them. Instead, to make the bad habits harder, you might want to increase the number of steps between you and the habit. I personally find this lesson to be the most practical one in helping you build or break the habits. For example, reducing mindless eating. I don't know about you, but if I see a cookie sitting on my kitchen counter, I know that I'm gonna eat it. I don't even need to be hungry. I'm just simply reacting my environment. It's just there and I respond. But luckily, there is something that I can do about it. I can make life easier to myself by removing unhealthy food from my view. It could be as simple as not buying it at the first place at the supermarket, or it could be replacing it with some healthier food options and putting like fruits on the kitchen counter. Or if I know that I will absolutely buy them, perhaps I could hide them in some corner in the kitchen so it's more hidden, so it's gonna take me multiple steps to actually reach and eat them. Or another example, working out more frequently. When you come from a long day at work, you feel tired. Or in the morning, you're tucked in your warm bed. It doesn't take much of an obstacle to keep you from working out. You might want to optimize your environment here. You can remove one hurdle in your environment by laying out your gym clothes, gym bag, and water bottle the night before, so that in the morning when you wake up, it's all over there and you have one less hurdle between you and a very good workout. Now, think about a habit that's really hard to start. And think about all the steps that it requires for you to initiate the task. Try to find a way to reduce the number of steps that it takes you to start the task, just like the examples that we just talked about. There you have it, 5 powerful lessons from the book Atomic Habits to help you build good habits, break the bad ones, and achieve your goals. Remember, it all starts with tiny changes, but in time, it gives you massive results. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give a thumbs up and subscribe for more actionable insights. And let me know in the comments below which lesson resonated with you the most, or is there a habit that you're trying to build right now? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.